Hey guys, welcome back again to Gruna's podcast. I am Catherine, your host, and I want to thank you so much for deciding to watch this video or listen to this episode or this podcast on whichever platform you're using. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying our content so far. I hope that you're relating to it. I hope that it's making your life a little bit easier or a little bit bearable. Because that's the goal, man. That's the goal. Anyway, I want to start this segment where I'm going to be reviewing, since I'm reading a book each month, I want to be reviewing, not really reviewing, but sharing the lessons that I have learned from that book. On the last episode of the month. Yeah, and so this month's read for me was The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to pronounce it as Tolle or Toll. Tolle sounds better. By Eckhart Tolle, and I'm going to be sharing the lessons that I learned with you guys.
Welcome to Grown Ass Podcast, a podcast by Catherine, a grown ass woman, showing you the way around this world of grown ups. Just kidding. Don't you very wish there existed such a podcast by such a person? Lol, sorry to disappoint. It's just me, a young girl, Jonas in her mind, sharing her experience in this adulting journey. So again, welcome to Grown Ass Podcast.
So the first lesson, guys, is and this blew my mind. Like, it's such a simple what is it? It's such a simple realization by something that you never actually think about, and it is that what exists is only now. The past and the future are only illusions. Like, the past and the future, they only exist in your mind. They do not exist. And these are the things that we obsess over. They're the things that we think about every minute of every day. It takes up so much of our time and our energy and does not even exist. As in, the past is a collection of nows. The future is also a collection or a series of nows that is yet to come. The past is a series of collections, is a series or collections of nows that have already happened. Such a simple thing, such a simple realization, but we never realize it, we never consider it, we never think about it, and we just like spend our entire lifetime obsessing over things that do not even exist, which is so sad. I mean, yeah, it's just so sad. But that is the first lesson. Building onto the first lesson, the second lesson that I learned is that surrender to the now. Like, accept the now for what it is. You have no control over the future, you cannot change the past. Accept now. Do what you can be able to do right now. Change what you can be able to change right now. As in, if the present haikufurahishi and you feel like you need to go back to the past and like relive the good times in the past, or look at the future hoping that the future is going to be better, you're living in illusions. So if you can just accept now for what it is, if you hate it and you're able to change it, then change it. But if you hate it and you cannot change it, then just accept it for what it is. Accept it and move on, because what else can you do, man? What else can you do? And accepting now for what it is, accepting that you cannot change the past and you have no control over the future, gives you freedom to enjoy now. The third lesson is, I think again, this is a little bit tied to the second lesson. It's that do not obsess over the past and the future, because the past will only depress you, make you regret things. The future is going to make you feel afraid. It's going to bring in some fear into your life. And there's really no need for that, because they do not exist. They only exist in your head. And if you can be able to let them go and focus on the now, then you can be truly free. This does not mean that you just live. Of course, live in the now, yes. But it doesn't mean that you cannot revisit the past in the future. But only do so when it's absolutely necessary. Because we spend so much time in our lives obsessing over these two. Now they don't exist. For instance, let's say you wake up really late. You're supposed to do something early in the morning and you wake up late. Your first instinct is to regret sleeping late last night or snoozing your alarm. Then your second the second thing that you will do is most probably think about just how waking up late is going to ruin your day, is going to drag your day. Like, you might be late for work, you might not meet a deadline, all those kinds of things. But you do realize that it has happened and there's nothing you can do about it. So if you can accept that, if you can not think about the past at that time or think about the future at that time, then you can release yourself from the regret and the pain, because there's really nothing that you can do about it. Yeah. The fourth lesson is to observe your thinker. So Tolle explains in his book that our mind is in constant thinking. Like, there's absolutely no time that you're just blank, you're not thinking about anything, you're just thinking. You're either thinking about the past or planning a future. You're never in the present. Yeah? And so when you begin to observe that thinker that is in your head, that thinker that brings the example that I gave, you wake up late in the morning and something in your mind tells you that, oh, you are so stupid, why did you sleep late? Observe that thinker. Do not react, because that thinker is expecting you to react to it, feel terrible about yourself. But if you can just observe and not react, then your life becomes so much better. Imagine the power that you have. Imagine someone just walks up to you and they tell you something really horrible about yourself, expecting a reaction from you. And then you don't give them any reaction. What do? They're going to feel embarrassed. They're going to most probably walk away. And that is the only way that you can be able to slow down that process in our minds that is constantly thinking and planning of something. Don't react, just observe. Yeah. The last lesson that I want to share with you guys that I learned from The Power of Now is concerning pain. And Eckhart explains that pain results from our refusal to accept what we cannot change, our refusal to accept that we do not have the power to change the past, and we have little to no power concerning the future. And how he explains we can be able to overcome this pain or be able to come to a place where we can accept. He says that you need to start constantly asking yourself, what is my next thought? What is my next thought? What is my next thought? Because that sort of breaks the way we live in autopilot. Because we are constantly thinking, but we do not realize that we are constantly thinking, meaning we are living in autopilot. But when you start to consciously ask yourself every now and then that, what is my next thought? What is my next thought? What is my next thought? You become conscious, you become present, and you break that system that you operate on that is on autopilot. Does that make sense? Click sense? No sense? I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. And when you break that autopilot, it means that you now have control over your thoughts. You are able to stop your mind from constantly thinking about things that it cannot change, constantly thinking about the future, constantly thinking about the past. Because when you know what your next thought is, then you can be able to change it. You can be able to control it. Yeah? And after that, after you know like how your mind is operating, what exactly it is that you're constantly thinking about, then don't judge yourself. In the beginning, just observe. Like, what is my next thought? What is my next thought? Observe it. Observe your thoughts. Don't judge them. And then you can begin to have control over it. That's it. I hope you learned something, enjoyed. You can read the book or like find an audiobook somewhere and listen to it. I think there are a couple of them on YouTube. They're audio versions. You can listen to them. Yeah. Because I think it has really changed like my perspective on looking at things. As someone who has a lot of trouble releasing control. It has really helped me. It has really like helped me see the things that I do have control over and those that I do not. It has helped me ease a habit that I've had for years, which is worrying over things, most of which I absolutely have no control over. And I've begun to accept and to live in that manner, to live in the now, to live in the present. And things are not so bad. Like, just letting go, man, life becomes so much easier. I promise. Yeah, so you could try reading that book and share with me what you think of the book, or share with me what you think of the lessons that I just shared from the book. And if you have any recommendations of a book that I should read next, please do let me know in the comment section, or yeah, inbox me. Thank you so much for listening up to this point. I really, really, really appreciate, and I really do love you guys. Love you a lot. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Bruna's podcast. I hope you enjoyed, learned, or had some intriguing thoughts about something. Anything. Share your comments, thoughts, or even shout outs to that message button, or find us on Instagram at Brunas_podcast, or go ahead and check out our website at www.brunaspodcast.com for blog posts, this episode, and more. Subscribe or follow Brunas Podcast on any of your favorite podcast app. You'll be hearing from me soon. Next week, Wednesday to be precise. Bye. Love, Catherine.